Hi, my name is Rich Lennon and I am the Simple Real Estate Investor. And today I'd like to talk about mindset. And I'd like to talk about the difference in mindset between a business owner and being a real estate investor. And there's a lot of money to be made in real estate, and you can make it as a business. And I think about businesses as being I'm a wholesaler, or I'm a flipper, or maybe I'm a builder. And there's a real estate investor who really receives all their income off of passive income, and they don't have to go out every day and work for it. And this was really epitomized and solidified my opinion about myself as an investor. A couple situations that happened to me just here in my local market in the last couple months. So I was finding land. I was doing a lot of marketing. I was finding land, and landowners were calling me up, and they wanted to sell me their properties, and I didn't really want to build on the properties at the time. I was more than happy just to basically wholesale this deal off to people who would build land or who would build on it. So it made sense to me. I looked up the local, or a friend of mine and I looked up the local builders associations, and we joined the builders association. It cost a couple $100. And we said, hey, we're going to come out to the meetings, and we'll find out, and we'll find the people that are going to buy our land from us. And so my very first meeting that I went to, I arrived probably about 9:15, and it turned out that meeting was the annual meeting for the award ceremony given out to all the builders in the local market. Now we're talking about people who are, their properties that they're building are on TV. They're winning awards for their design. They're winning awards for their curb appeal. So I'm just imagine a situation where I walk in and there's 500 people, and it's the best builders in my city all sitting there getting awards. And it was my first experience in the association. And like the guy I am, I really didn't pay attention to anything I put on that morning. I assumed I was just going to go to a meeting and talk about real estate. And so I walk into this award ceremony, and I was wearing this exact shirt that I'm wearing right now, and I was wearing khaki pants. And I sat down, I was late, and I sat next to my buddy, and we then proceeded to watch the award ceremony for about an hour. And it was very impressive. Everybody won a bunch of awards, and there were beautiful pictures of the homes, and the price points I couldn't believe. It was amazing. I was really impressed. And I looked around the room, and everybody was dressed to the nines. Everybody was wearing, all the men were wearing suits. All the women were, in my opinion, wearing like, I'm going out to dinner on a Friday night type of outfits. It was very impressive and very apparent how I was not dressed for the occasion, shall we say. So anyway, so we go through the award ceremony, and then the award ceremony ends, and my friend and I, who are just joined the group, we're kind of walking around mingling. We really don't know anybody to talk to. We talked to the president for a couple minutes, and it was about 15 minutes later that we were in the back of the room, because we kind of figured that, hey, this is where the deals were going to be made. This is where the socialization was going to happen. And we end up in the back of the room, and we look around, and it's only maybe 15 or 20 minutes from the last award was given, and the room was totally empty. Like nobody was there. There was nobody. And I was really surprised. And then it took me a second, and then I realized, oh, these were all the builders. Oh, I guess everybody went back to work. Huh. Me and my buddy hung out, and we talked for 15 or 20 minutes. One of the things he told me that was striking is that we won a raffle. And he walked to the front of the room, and the Channel 8 newswoman, or Channel 6, I honestly couldn't tell you, she gave him the award, a raffle that he worked at. He walked to the front of the room, and when she handed him the award, which was a gift certificate, she actually said to him, oh, maybe you could use this to buy a suit. And I have to say, I didn't even know that story when we were at the meeting. It wasn't to the back of the room that we were chuckling about it. And it really solidified a thought within me of like, okay, she really was letting us know, or letting him know, I'm glad it wasn't me, letting him know that like she had formed an opinion of him because he wasn't dressed appropriately. And that opinion was based around being a builder and making a lot of money. And it wasn't but a couple 30 minutes later that we're sitting back in the room that we realized that, hey, all those builders went back to work. and that her mindset was incorrect, and that we didn't have to go back to work. We were just hanging out in the back of the room. And it really was a point where I really stopped and said, huh, that's really striking to me what the difference between a business and an investment is. So I'm going to fast forward like 2 weeks later, and there's a big annual meeting downtown in Richmond run by VCU that everybody speaks very highly about, that all the commercial real estate investors come in and they talk about the local economy, the East Coast economy, the United States economy, the global economy, and then they talk about maybe some trends that are happening in real estate. And I think they've been doing it for like 30 years. And everybody raves about this. It's quite expensive to get in, and I've been wanting to go for a long time. So, of course, I forgot about it, and someone told me the night before and said, hey, Rich, are you going to the conference tomorrow? And I said, I doubt it. I had been at a meetup group that night. It was late at night. I said, I probably won't. Well, sure enough, I wake up in the morning. I'm like, hey, you know what? I've been wanting to go here for years. Everybody raves about it. I'm going to go. So again, I'm going to dress up as a real estate investor, which is this bright orange shirt and my khaki shorts on. And this to me is dressing up. And so anyway, I drive downtown. I park my car, which is, by the way, a nightmare in Richmond. And I walk into the convention center. And the first thing I noticed is that maybe something's a little bit wrong is when I went to pay my ticket, and the people that were working behind the booth were like literally dressed up in attire. They were dressed in like what I would again think that you would go out on a date night. They were dressed to the nines. Further look around, so all the men are dressed in suits. And once again, I put myself in a situation where I was totally underdressed for the situation, and it was a little bit awkward. So I walk into the room, and now instead of 500 people at the Builders Association meeting, there were a couple thousand people in this room. And I literally looked like a bum compared to them. And anyway, I ran over, I got my coffee. Well, I couldn't find my coffee at the first station, and then listened to all the people complain about the fact that they could get coffee. I just went down the row until I found coffee, which I thought was an interesting mindset. But I grabbed my coffee. I'm going to walk down and meet my friends, because they told me to meet me there. And so don't worry. I know my friends are looking out for me. At least I'm not going to be the only one not dressed up, right? Because they would have told me the night before, hey, maybe put on something nice. Ugh. Okay, so I walk down, and there's 24 tables that I have to walk down, and I'm 4 rows deep, and I basically walk in front of a couple thousand people totally looking like a bum. And a month earlier, I would have said, and I would have been maybe horrified in that moment. I was a little bit embarrassed at that first builders meetup. And in this second one, I really would have been mortified. And I kind of was like walking down, but something happened about halfway through. About halfway through, I was like, hey, I bet all these people are going to go back to work today. Yes, maybe I should have read the invitation better. Maybe I could have been dressed better. But all these people are looking at me with a certain mindset. And that mindset is that I don't belong there and I'm not one of them. And that would have, in the past, made me very uncomfortable. But I have to tell you that about halfway through that walk, as I'm looking for my friends who, they're going to be dressed like me, right? Right? Anyway, about halfway through, it really did click in my mind of a level of confidence in who I am. And a level of confidence of, hey, I'm not like you. I'm not the commercial real estate agent here, even though I'm traveling in the same circle with you at the moment, and I find value in being where I am. I'm not going to go back to work today. I'm going to let my passive income work for me, and I bet a bunch of these people will go back to work. So I had that conversation with myself as I'm walking down, and of course, about 4 tables away, I look over, I see all my friends, and they're dressed to the nines. All right, I owe you each for that. There's 3 of you. I won't mention your names, but I will get revenge because everybody had a good chuckle at me in that moment. But for me, it really was a mindset shift. And I got great information at that conference. I got a lot of information on the economy that I wanted. I got to see some technologies in real estate that I hadn't thought about, and I really grew as an investor. And then when I went out and I got a second cup of coffee and I stood around and talked to my friends, and everybody else went back to work. Being an investor is different than running a business. It has a different mindset. Sometimes you will find that you will awkwardly dressed in the wrong situation. But take comfort in your mindset and take comfort in being a real estate investor knowing that you're earning passive income. My name is Rich Lennon. I'm a simple real estate investor. Have a good day.